Ah, Blockbuster, your father's Netflix and chill. A time when having to rewind a movie before returning it was an actual thing. Let's talk about Blockbuster, the video rental giant that once ruled our pre-internet weekends. At its peak, it owned over 9,000 US stores, had 65 million registered customers and was valued at $3 billion. What'll blow your mind is that Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for a measly $50 million back in the year 2000. $50 million. Think about that for a second. That's like finding a billion-dollar winning lottery ticket in your old jeans just to give it away. Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one, harder than a Times Square New Year's Eve. Of course, we'll delve into the hows and whys later, but first, let's rewind to the good old days back when Blockbuster was the king of the video store jungle. Blockbuster burst onto the scene in 1985, a time when VHS tapes were the height of technology, and cable TV was still figuring out this whole remote control thing. People craved entertainment, and Blockbuster was there to provide it, offering a vast selection of movies for rent, all conveniently located under one roof. No more trekking to multiple mum-and-pop video stores, hoping they had the movie you wanted. Blockbuster was a one-stop shop for all your cinematic desires. The company grew at an astonishing rate, gobbling up smaller video stores like a Pac-Man on a power pellet binge. At one point, they were opening a new store at a rate of one per day. By the 1990s, Blockbuster was a household name, synonymous with Friday night movie nights and the thrill of browsing endless rows of VHS tapes. They were the undisputed champions of home entertainment. Blockbuster's stores became a cultural phenomenon, a place where families and friends gathered to pick out the perfect movie for the weekend. The blue and yellow signage became a beacon of excitement and anticipation. However, the rise of digital technology and streaming services began to chip away at Blockbuster's dominance. Despite their best efforts to adapt, the convenience of on-demand entertainment proved too powerful. The once mighty Video King found itself struggling to keep up with the rapid changes in how people consumed media. The story of Blockbuster serves as a reminder of how quickly the landscape of technology and entertainment can evolve. Remember that whole Blockbuster could have bought Netflix thing? Yeah, like your favorite rom-com DVD. Let's unbox that, shall we? In the late 90s, a little startup called Netflix came knocking on Blockbuster's door. They were this scrappy little company with a crazy idea, mailing DVDs to people's homes. Blockbuster, in their infinite wisdom, laughed them off. Mailing DVDs? Who wants to wait for their movies in the mail? They probably scoffed, while simultaneously dealing with police reports of customers fighting in store aisles over the last copy of Titanic. Oh, the irony. Netflix, the company Blockbuster dismissed as a passing fad, would become their proverbial Achilles heel. But it wasn't just Netflix. Blockbuster made a series of blunders so colossal, so mind-bogglingly stupid, that they deserve their own section. Before we go any further, let's talk about Blockbuster's real bread and butter. Late fees, the lifeblood of their business model. Remember that sinking feeling when you realized you forgot to return your rental, and now you owed more in late fees than the actual movie itself? Ah, those were the days. Well, Blockbuster made a killing off those late fees, raking in millions from forgetful customers. It was a goldmine for them, until it wasn't. In 1 year alone, the company raked in over $800 million in customer late fees. What made Blockbuster different was their, at the time, innovative barcode system, which allowed them to track thousands more rental titles than any other video store, to include their coveted late fees. But here's the thing. Those late fees were a double-edged sword. They brought in revenue, but they also came with a whole lot of customer frustration. Sure, it might have been profitable in the short term, but the true long-term cost was in the form of resentment among customers. People started to feel cheated. And then there was Blockbuster's stubborn refusal to embrace the digital age. Like a boomer on dial-up internet, they were stuck in their old ways. While Netflix was busy building its streaming empire, Blockbuster was still clinging to its brick-and-mortar stores and physical DVDs. They were slow to adapt. They dabbled in streaming eventually, but it was too little, too late. The world had left them behind. They were like a dinosaur trying to outrun an asteroid. The competition was fierce and fast. Spoiler alert, the dinosaur doesn't win. Blockbuster's fate was sealed, and the digital age took care of the rest. The downward spiral, Blockbuster's demise. The writing was on the wall, or rather, the steel rack of DVD cases. One of the earliest blunders was when Viacom purchased Blockbuster for $8 billion in 1994. I don't even want to do the math on what that would be worth today, but here's the craziest part. Within 2 years under Viacom's leadership, Blockbuster's value was cut in half. By the late 2000s, Blockbuster's empire was crumbling. Imagine this experience, spending hours at Blockbuster only to walk out with a movie you've already seen 5 times. Lit, right? And so customers began flocking to Netflix and other options like Redbox, enticed by convenience, affordability, and the reward of avoiding human interaction. Blockbuster's stores, once bustling with activity, were becoming ghost towns, haunted by the ghosts of rentals past. In 2010, the inevitable happened. Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. The once mighty video rental giant had fallen, a cautionary tale of what happens when you fail to adapt to a changing market. But what became of Blockbuster after its dramatic demise? Did it simply vanish into thin air? Or did it leave behind a legacy, albeit a slightly embarrassing one? Where did all the Blockbusters go? Fear not, for Blockbuster's story doesn't end in the dusty aisles of a forgotten video store. Oh no, it's much weirder than that. You see, while most Blockbuster stores went the way of the dodo, a handful actually managed to survive. That's right, there are still Blockbuster stores out there clinging to existence harder than a moss piglet in space. There's even a Blockbuster documentary, because of course there is. It's a strange and wonderful world we live in, where a company can go from industry titan to nostalgic punchline in the span of a decade. But Blockbuster's rise and fall offer valuable lessons for businesses of all shapes and sizes. Lessons learned: adapt or perish. In the ever-evolving world of business, companies must be willing to evolve or risk being left behind. Blockbuster's refusal to embrace new technologies and changing consumer habits ultimately led to its downfall. They were so busy counting their late fees that they failed to see the future of entertainment unfolding before their very eyes. It's a harsh lesson, but a valuable one nonetheless. Adapt or perish, folks. It's the law of the jungle, and the business world is no different. The end of an era, Blockbuster's legacy. So there you have it, the epic rise and fall of Blockbuster, a company that once stood as a giant in the video rental industry. It's a story of innovation, dominance, hubris, and ultimately failure. Blockbuster revolutionized the way we rented movies, making it a household name. But it's also a story that reminds us that even the most successful companies are not invincible. In today's business environment, companies can fall just as quickly as they rise. The business landscape is constantly changing, and only those who are willing to adapt will survive. Blockbuster's reluctance to embrace new technology was its downfall. And remember that incredible fact we started with, the one that still shocks many to this day. The one about Blockbuster passing up the chance to buy Netflix for a cool $50 million, a decision that would haunt them forever, or at least until their bankruptcy. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't make, or in Blockbuster's case, the ones you laugh off, only to have them come back and bite you in the VHS tape. Blockbuster's legacy serves as a cautionary tale for businesses everywhere. That's it for now. Share your favorite Blockbuster memories in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating business stories and insights. And remember, be kind, please rewind.